Now there's one question that pops up all the time when people are first getting their hands around this 2012 version of SQL Server and Integration Services, and that is this thing about parameters and variables. What exactly is going on here? Because parameters and variables seem to be providing the same functionality. I can set a parameter or a variable, then I can set the value of that and the package runs, and I'm not sure exactly what's the difference. Well, first of all, they are very, very similar in functionality and usage, but there is some key differences that you need to be aware of. Watch for these on the exam and keep these kind of out there in your data warehousing toolbox in the real world. First of all, parameters are more limited in their functionality. We can scope parameters at two levels. We can scope them either at the project level or we can scope them at the package level. Now your variables can be scoped at four different levels: at the package level, at a container level, at a task level, and at the event handler level. Now if you've ever done any development or programming with something like VB.NET or Java or C# or C++, you know that variables in those languages have definite scopes. If we put them inside a subroutine, if we create them inside there, they live inside there and so forth. The very same thing is happening here with your parameters and variables, and we've already actually talked about that, so I'll move on here. Now here's the big thing: a parameter cannot change its value during the package execution. So I'm going to set a parameter at the beginning of the execution of a package, and then that parameter is going to stay that way. It's almost like a constant in a programming situation. Okay, now a parameter allows me to affect execution without having to go in and modify the package. It's basically like passing a variable into it. It's the very same thing as passing a parameter into a stored procedure. Here's the deal with variables though, and this is where the power comes in on variables. They can change values during package execution, because a variable, just like with any kind of programming variable, I can change it based on conditions, based on results, based on whatever action, based on time, whatever I want to do. I can do it through a scripting language, I can do it with expressions, and on and on and on. Okay, so you'll see some examples of this in a couple of places in the course, and you may have already seen them. But that's the main difference between parameters and variables. And there's one more difference. Parameters are kind of already set up out there, and they map out to the properties of the various objects and stuff. Variables, we create these ourselves at will. We can create as many as we want. We can scope them how we want. We can change them freely through the course of the package execution. So hope this helps. That's the difference between a parameter and a variable. Again, watch for these little nuances on the exam.